Hi everyone and welcome to Squash Essentials. I'm Zach and today we have a very special episode of Gameday in store for you. These next 4 videos will be taken from the Club Championship played in June. The first 2 episodes will feature the semifinal matches and following that, a 2-part episode for the finale. What's even more special about this is that these are tournament games. Tournament matches are a lot different than regular matches because when you play tournaments, your only goal is to beat your opponent and hopefully win the tournament. With regular matches, we may have players not trying 100% or they may not be working on to improve certain skills. Because of this, we are going to look at these matches and players very critically because these players are doing everything in their power to win. There is no holding back, so this is the best possible time to break down a player's game and to see what they are actively doing to try and win a match. I am excited to bring you guys these videos, so let's get into it. Unfortunately for these episodes, the glass was not completely clean for where the camera is, so I apologize for the difficult visualization of the ball. The good news is that for this match we won't be focusing so much on the quality of shot that we are hitting, but rather what decisions are the players making and their movement. Let's watch the game. Amazing ball movement by Samantha allows her to have all the pressure in the rally and generates a free ball in the front. She hits a drop shot here. Now I really don't mind the drop shot even though we don't hit it that well. The reason for this is that we prep relatively well here, which leads to a little bit of a hold. This gives the illusion that we are going deep and we get Jimmy to move even more. Here is where the problem happens and how we end up losing the point. Let's rewind here and watch how Samantha moves after she hits this shot. We don't move and get back to the tee. When we hit a bad shot, it is even more important to get back to the tee quick to defend the next shot. Samantha ends up taking the ball extremely far back in the court and she hits a weak shot. Now if we look at Samantha's position, we are half a second late to the tee. Where did the half second go? It was when we didn't get back to the tee from the first drop shot, and Jimmy hits a decent drop shot to win the point. Now normally when we watch these points, we usually say, well, instead of the drop shot or the cross court, how come Samantha just doesn't hit straight? Let's rewatch the rally from Jimmy's perspective. Jimmy has an opportunity to hit a good straight length here. He ends up hitting it short. Why? If we go back here, we see Jimmy did not prepare or prep his swing, so he doesn't get a good shot off and it goes short. Samantha counters with a really good straight shot. Look where Jimmy is standing when Samantha hits this ball. He is cheating extremely hard to the right of the tee. Samantha hits a cross court, which properly punishes him. Again, instead of going straight back to the tee, we cheat and stay on the left side, and Samantha hits another cross court. Jimmy is still not in a good position to get a drop shot, which is why I don't mind Samantha hitting it. The problem was not the shot choice, but rather her movement afterwards. From this rally, we could already see some clear patterns that may emerge in this game. When we are playing to win our match, we want to have what is called a win condition for yourself. That is a series of shots or things you want to take advantage of your opponent that will give you sustainable points. Your goal is to try to find your win condition and to try to exploit your opponent as much as you can. Samantha might have problems getting back to the tee, which leads to her inability to get shots. Jimmy can take advantage of this by hitting more drop shots or by moving Samantha around more with deep and cross-court shots. Jimmy, on the other hand, cheats to the sides of the tee a lot, which Samantha can counter by using straight length to get him off the tee and then hitting cross-courts like she did in this rally to apply pressure. These two already have very clear win conditions. Let's see how this game plays out and where they can take advantage of these opportunities. Jimmy hits a relatively good serve here and Samantha goes for a cross court. I'm going to assume here that because of the tightness of the serve that Samantha hits this cross. If she could have hit it straight out, that would have been a better option, but for now, this was just a result of a good serve by Jimmy. Jimmy decides to drop here and probably a little premature. Not only that, if we rewind, we will see how Jimmy does not even feint the straight length at all, and it is well telegraphed. Now Samantha has a chance to attack. We decide to go for a cross court here. If we remember the last rally, what allowed us to hit the cross court was a good first straight length. We did not hit a straight length here during the rally to get Jimmy out of position, and he is ready for the next shot. Jimmy volleys the shot here and wins the point. Try and see the quality of shot that Jimmy hits. Not that good, and yet he won the point. If that ball seems gettable, then the question is, what was Samantha doing during that time after she hit the ball? Let's rewind and see. So after she hits, watch how she moves. She does not move very fast or at all after she hits and doesn't get back to the tee. If she had, she probably would still be in the rally and could have won the point. Jimmy's decision to hit a straight and a controlled shot is a really good example of why we want to use the volley to put the ball into a corner instead of going for a winner. Jimmy had no risk hitting this type of shot and it paid off. Samantha goes for the cross court again. When we play like this, it opens up the game and we hardly put any pressure on our opponent because they are in the right position to attack weak crosses. We need to hit the ball straight, which would allow us to hit an effective cross court. Understanding when and why we hit this cross court is extremely important or else it'll get you into trouble. Jimmy hits a cross court here. Now we know that Samantha does not move back to the tee fast after hitting a shot. Our goal should be trying to hit in the back opposite corner where she is not and then bring her to the front. When we hit the cross here, she's not even back at the tee, yet she's still able to attack off this next shot. Jimmy should have been the one creating the pressure, not the other way around. Samantha goes for a straight drop here. I don't mind it too much because at least we're hitting straight rather than across. Now Jimmy hits his ball into the tin. Let's rewind again, and can we guess why? It's because we did not prepare our swing for the shot, and Samantha even knows where this is going because it was so telegraphed by Jimmy. Overall, even if he executed this properly, it would not have been a winning shot. Again, Samantha hits another cross court. The amount of cross courts we have been hitting may have all stemmed from the first rally we played in this game. This is actually the difference when we have the idea that we found success with the cross court, but actually it was with the straight length. Jimmy makes a good decision to bring Samantha up to the front. Samantha hits a counter drop and we see the same thing for 3 points in a row. She does not move after she hits it. Jimmy can hit any shot really and win the point because of the lack of movement by Samantha. We hit another cross court here. So far we only have hit one straight length in 4 rallies. This cross court ends up being a good one. This is the 8th cross court we have hit. So far we've hit the cross court 1 out of 8 times successfully, which equals to about 12% of the time. Every other time we did not generate any pressure and we had to defend the next shot. The only time we did have pressure was when we hit a straight length before. Jimmy does not end up getting this shot. A good shot by Samantha here picks her up the point. I would have liked it if we tried to go straight here instead because it's pretty risky to volley drop when it's coming at our feet. Jimmy responds with another cross in return. Remember, we want Samantha to move, so when she hits a cross, Jimmy should be hitting the ball straight. Again, Samantha cross-courts here, but it works. Why? Because we volleyed the shot and took time away from Jimmy to get back to the tee. Jimmy is late to the tee, which allows us the cross-court to work for us. It did not work in the previous times when Jimmy was ready. Jimmy hits a good boast here and gets the point. If we look at Samantha's positioning at first glance, it looks like we actually get back to the tee and still don't get the ball. The problem is that we are still moving when Jimmy hits this ball, thus not allowing us to push and lunge for this difficult shot. When Jimmy contacts the ball, our feet are not set at the tee. As well, we are still moving towards the right. It is no wonder by the time we set our feet, the ball is about to hit the front wall already, thus making this shot seem ungettable. Samantha returns with a cross-court again and Jimmy hits another. Now Jimmy's going to keep returning like this. All of a sudden Samantha hitting the cross-court starts to become beneficial to us only if we volley the next shot deep. We see here she does volley the cross and creates an opportunity for ourselves. We hit the boast here to win the point. Although she won the point, we still do not move well out of the shot, so if we didn't execute this perfectly, we are still going to get ourselves in trouble. I would like to lean towards the choice of hitting a straight shot instead because of this. Jimmy starts off this rally by finally hitting a good straight shot here. Samantha defends pretty well here and hits the ball deep. Jimmy notices the ball is high and slow and does the perfect thing by hitting a volley. Samantha is forced to defend and Jimmy hits another straight for the winner. Notice how Jimmy prepares for the shot and freezes Samantha. So this all started because Jimmy hit a good straight length from the beginning. It almost seemed like there was nothing Samantha could do here. I would want Jimmy to try and repeat this for the game because he will find success doing this. Let's see why this will work again. Remember, Samantha has a hard time getting back to the tee after hitting a shot. Samantha is forced to defend here and we are slow getting back to the tee. Now Samantha is just setting her feet at the tee now. Unfortunately, the ball is already at the wall, which makes her about a half a second late. This is why it feels like we run into Jimmy here because we are looking for the volley and it would have been a stroke if we were half a second faster. Let's rewind back and see what position we would be in if we moved back to the tee quicker. So if we got back to the tee fast and efficiently, we would have been able to take the volley here for the stroke. This is the difference of having an extra half a second to get the racket back and ready to swing, to where we are now, which is where we're just planting our feet and are late to preparing our swing. That half second we lost in the beginning haunts us again because we are stepping to set our feet, he is hitting the ball and it is already coming back to us when we finally are ready to move. This is a consistent problem and is something that can be exploited by Jimmy by hitting the ball deep to the opposite corner and by taking the time away from Samantha by hitting the ball early by using things such as a volley. Samantha cross-courts again and Jimmy returns with another one. Again, why does this work for Jimmy? because we volleyed the shot and took time away from Samantha to get back to the tee. Samantha hits a very good straight return here. Jimmy hits a volley cross court here, and this should put more pressure on Samantha. Samantha, however, gets there and volleys straight. Again, look how strong a straight volley is. An easy stroke for Samantha here. Now the question is, how come Jimmy's volley didn't work the second time? It all starts when Samantha defends this shot. When we break down these situations, we are going to start with something Samantha normally does bad but did good in this situation. That would be, did Samantha move quick back to the tee after she hit her shot? The answer to this is no, not really. It wasn't any faster than she wasn't moving normally. So this doesn't explain why she is able to volley this next shot by Jimmy. What Samantha did is very subtle and was one of the best options when defending. That is, when you defend a shot, you want to hit a straight and high shot. Watch how much time passes before Jimmy can volley the next shot. Because she hit straight and high, it gives her time to move back to the tee and takes advantage of the bad cross that Jimmy hits. Now, Jimmy hits a cross court right off the serve. Again, the problem with hitting any cross is that if your opponent is in the right position and aren't afraid to volley, they can easily attack. Because Jimmy hit the bad cross court, we have lots of time to prepare because we were at the tee. This next cross court we hit, Jimmy is forced to defend. Samantha hits a weak cross court here. She's in the perfect position to attack, yet she doesn't capitalize on it. If we rewind a little bit, we seemed almost undecisive with the shot we were trying to hit, and that's why it doesn't go deep or have any sort of pace on it. Jimmy returns again with another cross. Samantha hits another one in return. It feels like at this point in the rally, they are just hitting the ball and hoping that one of the cross courts they hit will put pressure on each other. We have hit so many cross courts this game, and there has only been one that has been executed perfectly. The fact that both players have the inability to hit a good cross court consistently should hopefully signal to either of them that they should be hitting something else besides that. Again, if they volley the shot, all of a sudden the scenario changes. Jimmy hits his next shot straight but doesn't get deep. Watch how Jimmy swings at this ball. Finally, Samantha hits a straight length and coincidentally gets her an opportunity in the front. This is great. We hit another straight length. Now we can go for the cross because Jimmy is late to the tee and is cheating. And because Jimmy is late, that is why he hits this ball out. Jimmy hits a good straight length here, and Samantha defends. Now the reason why Samantha gave up on this shot is because of our inability to get back to the tee off the shot. If we look where we take this ball, our back is bent over and our weight is not in our legs, but rather into the wall and over her knee. When we become off balance and aren't ready to push off back after the shot, there's very little we can do to get back to the tee fast after this. Unfortunately, we didn't get the full game on video here due to the camera running out of batteries, but we definitely were able to get a feel of how the game was going. Jimmy ended up winning this match and advancing to the finals. Samantha had two big areas where she lost points off of. The first one we were going to talk about is hitting cross courts under the wrong circumstances. Samantha and Jimmy were both guilty of hitting cross courts at inopportune times. Let's use some numbers here for some perspective. Samantha hit a total of 24 deep shots this match. She only hit 7 straight shots and a total of 17 cross courts. That is 70% of her shots. First off, it is okay to end up with a ratio like this if you understand why you are hitting the cross court or you're able to hit cross courts successfully. Out of all the cross courts Samantha hit, she only hit one perfect cross court. This means based on this game, she was only successful at hitting a good cross court 5% of the time. This number is extremely low, which means a large amount of the time we do not hit our mark. However, we can compensate for this low number by seeing how our opponent reacts to our not so perfect cross courts. In Samantha's case, when she hit a straight shot and followed it up by a cross court, or when she volleyed a shot that Jimmy hit, she actually pressured Jimmy in these scenarios. The important thing to note is that Jimmy is not at the tee when she hits these shots. He is still recovering either from a good straight length, or Samantha has taken time away from Jimmy with a volley. This was the reason why the cross courts were successful sometimes, but not the others. It really wasn't about how well Samantha was executing the shot, but rather when she decided to hit it. When Jimmy was at the tee, it did not pressure him, and he had the opportunity to attack on Samantha. Samantha actually has better technique with her deep shots than Jimmy. To capitalize on this, hitting straight length more often could have changed the match significantly. When she did hit straight length, most of the time it turned into an opportunity for her at the front. It is a hard skill to master to figure out how you are winning your points. This usually comes with a deep understanding of each shot and when they are beneficial and when they are not. Samantha was able to establish her win condition as early as the first rally, which was hitting straight with a possible cross courts to follow up. Samantha's movement was the second area that caused her to lose points. This is a common problem for most players who feel like there's nothing they can do to get the next shot. After they hit the ball, it is extremely important to push off from your shot and get back to the tee in a fast and efficient manner. We saw many times when we were slow to get back to the tee, or where we didn't even move from hitting our last shot. There is a good test to see if you were slow to get back to the tee. On a point where you couldn't get to the ball, or if it feels like it's unreachable, ask yourself this: would you be able to get to this shot if you were standing at the tee? Ready? What you will actually find is that most of the time the answer is yes. Most of the shots you lose on are actually not that good shots, but rather our inability to get back to the tee. What is necessary for good movement is power and efficiency in our steps. We want to push off from the tee and continue that weight forward until we are in a position to hit our shot. Once we are in position, you want to put all that weight into your leg you lunged in and hit the shot. After you hit the shot, you use all that weight that you stored into your knee and push off. This will allow you to get into and out of shots quickly. To move efficiently, the least steps, the better. This usually equates to lunging into and out of every shot. Jimmy was able to get a lot of Samantha shots and return them. Jimmy is a runner, and his game revolves around running around the court and returning. He was able to force Samantha to put herself out of position and win points because of this. Now, there were three things that Jimmy did that could be exploited. The first thing was the lack of preparation in his shots. Lots of times, especially when he was hitting a drop shot or hitting a ball deep, there was no preparation in his swing. This leads to him not being able to hit a complete shot when he hits length and telegraphing what shot he was going to hit. Most of the time, this occurred when he was hitting a drop shot. The second area where Jimmy can lose points is his shot selection. Jimmy looked like he plays a very reactive game, and there were only a select couple times where he decisively hit a shot. When he planned a shot, such as this cross-court drop shot, he clearly knew that this shot would win the point. With other shots, such as when he attempts to hit straight length, or when he returns a cross-court, it looks like he is hitting the ball just to hit the ball. This can lead to poor shot selection and attacking before the time is right. The final thing that Jimmy did was he cheated to areas very frequently. Especially after a straight length, he cheated to that side, which can get him to a lot of trouble. What will be interesting to see is whether these trends continue in the finals, or will they continue to be unexploited. Hi guys, thank you for watching another episode of Gameday. Congratulations to Jimmy to advancing to the finals of the tournament, and we will see him in the two-part finale episode. Thank you as well as to Samantha for allowing this match to be reviewed. If you guys are eager to see the next episode and want to know when you can, hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the like button for me if you like the video. We're going to start asking questions at the end of every episode, and this way you guys can start to see if you guys are improving your squash IQ. This episode's question is: when Samantha has a ball at the front, after she hit a good cross court and Jimmy returned with a boast, should she hit a drop shot or a deep shot? Comment down below for your answer and see what everyone else has to say. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.